Hey y'all, today, finally putting in that oil pan. Nope. Hey y'all, today, finally putting in that transmission pan and probably talking about some other stuff. My name is Andrew, this is the OK Humvee. All right, y'all. Let's go through a couple of the more recent goodies we've gotten in the mail. First of all, I'm trying to decide, I don't know if you can hear that bird or not. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna paint or raptor liner. I have a specific color in my brain. It's kind of like it's a mix between Porsche chalk gray and Nardo gray. But found this cool company that will mix tint for you, Velocitint, specifically for raptor liner. And they'll send you samples. So for like 12 bucks, they sent me all of these samples. So I like this first half better. So somewhere in there. So this is, I think I liked Desert Sage, I liked Lunar Rock. I really like that one. I think it's gonna be the color of my wife's minivan. Actually, this is the one that's the color of my wife's minivan. Medium basalt gray. Like it's exactly the color for a van. I kind of like this medium dark too. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm a bedliner or not. Part of me really wants to, because the body of my truck, it's got some dings. It's seen some things. I'm gonna have to patch some holes. I feel like bedliner kind of covers up the imperfections a little bit better than paint. Paint is like leggings, whereas bedliner is insulated Carhartt work pants. Do with that what you will. Okay, got a belt for the motor. I think this is the right one. I hope this is the right one. It's for the A2 truck. I'm running the non-turbo accessories, so in theory this will work, but we shall see. Got some U-joints. Again, with the front shaft being like a two-piece, I don't think I have all the U-joints I need. But at least I have 4. And I need to get some more straps because 2 of the ones on the back were missing. So there's that. I did get my little drain plug for the lower radiator tube. I probably could have put just a bolt in there to plug it, but because I'm probably going to drain this, cycle it and drain it a couple times, this does make it really easy. Just to spin that open and drain everything from the lowest point. So it's weird that down is closed, but anyways, I still need to find, there is a sensor. Thought about just getting the sensor and putting it in there since the thread would work, but I don't know, could I just weld a plate over that? I guess so, that's welded, that bung's welded in there. I don't know. I gotta fix my welder too. what we're going to open next is what I'm going to be working on next. Next-ish. This, I believe, is the transmission pan. And gasket. Yeah, transmission pan gasket and transmission pan with plug. Try not to get my grubby hands all over this. This is not what I expected. It's plastic with like metal inserts. Wow, this pan is shiny. Does have the drain plug. So yeah. I thought it would be painted. I don't know if I need to paint it. The underside will be lubricated the whole time. So, this pan and this gasket, is there a top and a bottom? Or is it ambidextrous? No, it is side specific. This will need to go on that transmission. The previous owner stripped the drain plug, so in order to drain the transmission fluid before shipment, the previous owner drilled a hole through it and then just put some thread tape and a bolt in there. So when I looked at it wrong, it's immediately started leaking. So we'll get this prepped. It's a bunch of 10mm, I think, bolts, and then some 13s for the brackets. In order to get the brackets off, you got to pull the front drive shaft. So it's a whole big thing, and it's getting dark. My wife's going to be home soon, so it's probably going to be one of those where it cuts to a new day. So see ya in 12-ish hours. Okay, these are some of these little tiles from Velocitint. I got these others. These are a lot more brown and green than I was really hoping. So these are cool. They're just not for me. But these are some of the ones I like. So there's like a memory game. Just remember what all the colors are. Lunar Rock, medium basalt gray. I could just flip them over. Lunar Rock. Medium basalt gray. Medium light basalt gray. That one's pretty light. Cloud gray. However, this one is darker than clouds you would normally want to be interacting with in Oklahoma. Desert sage. Let's see. It's got a hint of tan khaki in it. Cactus gray. It's a lighter tan, maybe a hint of green. stone gray. That's got a lot more tan than I think I want. And then medium basalt gray. This is one of the ones I like. Kind of looks blue on my screen right now, but who knows? Who knows if the camera, ooh. Yeah, these do not look the same on camera as they do in person. Maybe I can fix the color grade. But yeah, so I can't decide for sure if that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm leaning that way. Let's compare to my toolbox. Please ignore that that's covered with stuff. Also, I have started moving tools into here. That cart over there is completely empty, so it's gonna go to my shop. And by shop, I mean it's one of those pre-built sheds, came with the house. It's where I do more woodworking type stuff. This is the Harbor Freight US General Series 3. You know how I feel about Harbor Freight, so I don't have to say anymore. All right, let's see if these colors kind of give you an idea of. So I think the Harbor Freight cabinet's a little blue for my taste as far as grays go. But these two are pretty close. Medium basalt and lunar rock. Those are pretty close. Still kind of like that. Medium dark. I just don't want it to look like, a lot of people when they bedline stuff, black or dark gray, it just looks like primer. So, I think I'm leaning towards these two. Medium basalt, medium dark basalt. But that's just in the garage light. We'll have to see it in daylight because it's not daylight right now. Okay, on to the next thing. First coat. See y'all in the morning. All right, so in order to put the new pan on, you've got to pull the drive shaft so that you can get this bracket off, which those are 13s, all of these are 10s. You do have to pull the transfer case support bracket off. It's like 2 bolts, and then there's 2 back in the middle for like this rubber isolator thing that helps it. So you may be thinking, wow, that looks really great. Why are you changing it? This is actually the new one. I forgot to do this video ahead of time. So yeah, you could also say, ta-da, it's done, movie magic. But no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna show you what I did capture the process. Most of it being iPhone. Not really a before and after, but kinda. Hey, real quick, make sure to like and subscribe. That's why we're all here, right? All right, so that is the bottom of my transmission. And that is the pan. And that is the extra drain bolt that, since the main one was stripped, the previous owner just drilled a hole through and put that bolt in. And that bolt went right into the filter. Luckily it stopped at the filter and didn't go into anything important. But yeah, new pan is painted, and I'm gonna, I guess, wipe off this a little bit and then put the new gasket on it and get to installing. All right, so Pan's painted with 3 or 4 coats. There's Brent. He's scraping the surface underneath. It's gonna have oil in it, so I'm not really worried about that. That just needs to go over there. Almost forgot to put the new transmission filter on. This is the new filter. I'm gonna pull the old one off, and it should just wiggle up in there if I don't break it. So, do I look pretty ugly? The drive shaft is
Yeah, it's right in the shot.
right in my way. I don't really want to get that to get dirty. You can see, oh, you can see me dump it on the ground. That holds a lot. Okay, so we have this little bracket over here that the 13s came off of, so we're gonna have to navigate that. Feel like a server. Can't see what I'm doing because the stupid drive shaft. That's the bracket underneath the transfer case bracket that you have to take off in order to get to. These are 13s. You have to take the drive shaft out to get that. Although we kind of slid it out, so who knows? All right, T-case support going back in now. These bolts of the transfer case support in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm telling other people.
Ow. I hope you got that.
I did. Let's just say it takes some encouragement to get it into place. Okay, so before you put the cross member up, don't forget to put the drive shaft back in, like we did. But it's okay, the drive shaft can go back in now. All right, yeah, we can let down the jack that was under the transfer case. And it didn't move, so that's good. Okay. The new pan is in with the filter. Well, that's it for the transmission pan part of this video, but as you can see down here, somewhere, there's a lot of time left. And that's because I'm about to share some stuff that I've learned between what you're seeing now and the last video. So the last video, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I finalized the clutchless fan install. I put in the Black Dog Customs, bypasses the whole clutch and Cadillac system, so it's not air blowing in to engage it, to spin it, and I did not expect the comments around that. Which led to more comments and more learning, and hold that thought. So, as I was saying, before I was wearing this really cool Hummer Network shirt. Has a really cool design on the back. And it's a little wrinkly because I just took it out of my closet. Yeah, had I done a little bit more research ahead of time, I maybe could have avoided some of this. But like I said, I didn't expect the outpouring of, maybe not concern, maybe not pity, maybe pity, I don't know. I will say, I really appreciate everybody that commented. I don't take any offense to anybody saying there's another way to do something. In fact, I need that, that's helpful. I went to school for graphic design, and man, those critiques can be brutal. So YouTube comments are nothing compared to that, being face to face with someone destroying your work. So comments are great, keep commenting, let me know. I'm sure there's plenty of different ways to do things, but there's a lot of stuff I don't know. This has never been a channel of, this is the way and the only way and the best way to do stuff. I'm figuring it out as I go. You guys know that by now if you've been watching. But there are a couple things came up. The fan, when working right, the factory fan with the clutch and the Cadillac valve, the reason it's so loud, the reason it draws so much power is it is 100% lock off when it's fanning. Now, that has its pros and cons. Pros is it cools pretty well. Cons is, like I said, noise, drags down the engine on an already probably underpowered engine. But that in and of itself isn't necessarily a reason to keep or go with this other fan kit. Since the 6.5 is notorious for overheating and cracking, especially the back cylinder, especially cylinder 8, but I think 7 is one of them too. There's a lot of other things that come into play. So, that was the last video. Last video I did, the fan. Got some feedback, started talking with some guys on the forum, and referenced a previous video, the water pump. Well, I put a new water pump on. I'm from the Jeep world. I didn't know there's reverse flow water pumps and the issues that can cause. And so I put on a water pump. It's fine, it's clean, it's OEM. However, engineers discovered that part of the reason the back of the blocks were overheating is they weren't getting coolant. And there's this other water pump that I didn't know about. It's reverse flow, I think is what it's called. They're not bad, they're like 350 bucks. This one was $100 probably. I don't know, I have it on my computer. There's a couple places you can get it. I'm pretty sure it's called the reverse flow, because what the engineers discovered was the water pump wasn't getting water and coolant all the way back, and so they get hot. Anyways, long story short, probably would have done a different water pump had I done the research on the forums first. They did save me from, there's this extra kit that I'd planned to put on, an auxiliary coolant line that goes to the back where there's already a hole, you can plumb that in, but apparently those are proven to actually speed up, because like, you know how like when the oceans meet somewhere and they're different temperatures, they don't work. Something similar happens in a cavity of air pocket and death is formed, and it causes them to stop working even faster. So luckily I was like, all right, I'll pause on that, tell me everything. But a guy on YouTube commented, kind of gave me a rundown and gave me some pause, like, okay, maybe I need to keep doing some more research. And then on the Hummer Network forums, sent me a message and sent me his phone number, so I gave him a call. So first of all, shout out to Will in Las Vegas, huge help, and spent way more time on the phone with me than I deserve, but incredibly helpful, and we've sent messages back and forth a couple times. First of all, thank you, Will from Las Vegas. Different Will than the guy that helps here, obviously, because I'm not in Vegas. But Will gave me a ton of good advice, just especially being at this stage in the motor build and everything. He he had the fastest 6.5 truck for years. He ran the biggest 6.5 fleet outside of the government. So yeah, he's got some experience with them. And so a lot of different things. I'll put the details below because if I'm going to learn, you should learn too. So if you're interested in that, go below and look. But a few things that he brought up that I hadn't really considered, water pump being one of them. At this stage, because the water pump's brand new, I'm probably not going to replace it yet. I want to get it running and started. That may be probably the first thing on my list afterwards. Yes, I know the stack, all that has to come out, but I know there's going to be something anyways, so probably not going to buy that yet. But I am going to keep a closer eye on the temperature. So another thing you'll see below is relocating the temp sensor to a different spot, and then also getting a new temp sensor and a new gauge so I can get a really good accurate reading of kind of both positions of the motor, what the temperature is actually at to kind of help prevent any of that overheating. So the fan and the water pump may not necessarily be upgrades, but hopefully I can get a pretty accurate reading of where everything is. If I need to go back to the old fan, I have all that. If I'm not having any issues, then it's fine. But yeah, I don't want to pull the water pump off yet. So that's where that is. But another thing I talked about was the harmonic balancer and the camshaft pulley. So harmonic balancer, apparently those fail pretty frequently. Well, not frequently, but those are prone to fail. There's a really nice fluid dampener one that like can't fail. It's a lifetime part. It's $500. So I could spend the money now and be done with it. Rent the puller. I'm gonna have to rent the puller either way. I need to get under there and look and see if mine's need to replace. But if I don't do the nice like fluid dampener one, you can do just the regular one for, like I said, $100 probably. So I haven't decided there. 500 is a lot to. But for peace of mind, you know, kind of like the Blue Hummer locking spindle nuts, safety, longevity, may be worth it just to do it once and do it right. So anyways, harmonic balancer. On top of that is that crankshaft pulley. I just put, actually I have one. Covered in stuff. Let's see. This is the crankshaft pulley. Bolts to the crankshaft, turns, you know what it does. What I didn't even notice or realize, this is a 3-piece pulley. This center hub, you can kind of see it better on this side. This center hub is metal. The outer ring is metal. This inner part is rubber, like a giant bushing. And this one's already starting to get a little bit of dry rot. But if you think about it, when that shrinks, cracks, fails, this is useless. So why not get a solid one? So another thing Will showed me was Leroy Diesel has a billet aluminum crankshaft pulley. It's all one piece. You get it anodized in different colors, which is pretty fancy. It's $190. See? Solid 3-piece. Solid 3-piece. So Leroy Diesel also sells that fluid dampener harmonic balancer. He also rents out the tools to pull that out. So I need to look. Will was telling me, he told his mechanics they got $100 bonus for any of these that they pulled off. Because I mean, if you can pull it off by hand, then it's probably on its last leg. But I'm definitely going to do the solid billet. I know I've already got this one on, but I don't want that to fail. So I've got some choices to make there. Need to order some temp sensors, a better gauge to kind of read that. Let's kind of go through the highlights, see if there's anything I'm missing. So all this will be below, but move the temp switch out of the right rear head to either the front or the thermostat crossover tube. And then install a quality aftermarket temp sensor at the right rear. That's where the issues are. The critical spot on the block right there. So that'll give me a pretty good reading, and I can, if it gets too hot, I can pull over and then, but I can't do any of that until it's running. He mentioned forcing he's got a lot of crazy stories. Will, you should come on the show sometime. He actually worked with engineers with the military and the government developing a hood scoop, and anyways, I gotta make sure whether it may not be a hood scoop because do those really look good, but do need to make sure the air is getting in through the cooling stack with the lift. Obviously, I need to build something to kind of go up the sides so the air is forced in, make sure I have a good gasket seal, make sure the rubber seals force air into the radiator. I think I can just trim some aluminum. People make panels that bolt on the side and go up, so I feel like I can make that. May benefit from a different thermostat crossover, maybe. He said, absolutely don't get rid of your fan clutch parts. So I have them sitting in the pile. Oh, he also mentioned the blue Hummer lock nuts. So yeah, I've learned a lot. Hummer Network Forums is not a sponsor, but you can go get a shirt, Hummer Network Forums. They've got shirts, hoodies, they're pretty cool. But also, if you're into this, the community is awesome, super helpful, very generous with sarcastic jokes, but also with actual help. A lot of the Facebook groups and stuff, it's just a lot of you're doing it wrong, or a whole lot of go look at the manual, which is sure, yeah, I know it's in there somewhere, but I want to know if somebody's actually done it. So make sure to join if you're interested in that. Like I said, thanks, Will. Huge shout out to you. I appreciate your time. So what is next as we wrap up this video? A lot. I still am not getting power to the starter, so I need to work on that. Fuel tank straps, I need to get the drive shaft is kind of wedged in there. Those are from Anvil Motorsports. That'll probably be the next video, but I need to get that so I can move the tank down, put the blocks in, put the new straps in, new hardware. Really want to get power to the starter and make sure that that's all situated. I've got another starter if it is the starter, but yeah. Also, I know I'm probably jumping ahead with the bedliner samples, but yeah, who knows? I just like to think ahead, think positively, you know, just believe in the best, that someday this will be running. Anyways, that's enough of me rambling. Rambling? That's enough of me rambling. Thank you guys for being here. If you've watched it in, thank you, and I'm sorry. But I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for helping the channel grow. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you to everybody that's on Instagram, sending me messages. And if you haven't, follow me on Instagram here. And also, if you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, and see you next time. Bye. Seen better days, but in order to get space in here, put the wheel dolly on, push it over, and now I have access. So maybe in this video, maybe the next, I'll finish those fuel tank drop straps. I got the old ones off. There.